This is an instructional video on how to remove the intake manifold for cleaning on the ML Triton, the ML Mitsubishi Triton. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, the first step in this process will be to remove the battery, which will allow ease of access to all this side area here. Okay, with the battery removed, we now need to take out these screws here to take off the engine cover. Okay, under the engine cover, 2 more bolts to remove this frame here. That's this bolt here and this one here. Okay, the next step in this process is to mark the next bits we're going to remove, which are these cables, the glow plugs. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, with those connectors now removed, we can pull this wiring harness out of the way. Okay, when you look down behind the EGR, you'll see this red and white cable. You need to disconnect this too. It's secured on with that nut there. You've got all these connectors disconnected. This wiring harness is just about ready to come away. Take off that red and white cable and push it all to the side. Okay, I mentioned previously about removing that connector there. On this occasion it seems to be fairly tight. Every time I try to undo it, it bends the bracket. So I'm going to try and disassemble this, just leaving the harness as it is and just trying to keep it out of the way as I take off the EGR and the inlet manifold. Okay, our next step will be to remove this transfer pipe here. To do that, we need to remove these bolts here, and also 1 and 2 over the other side here, as well as the other 2 bolts on this side. One, 2. So now we need to remove the MAF sensor line and this bracket here. And while you're at it, just check to make sure there's no holes or any wearing in this pipe, so it can be reused. Okay, my apologies guys, I've jumped the gun there. I'll remove the EGR valve with the 4 bolts here and here. Make sure you take care of that gasket, don't bend it, don't break it. This car has been running for about 500 k's since I took the EGR off. You can already see oil and carbon build up inside already. It's only after 500 k's. Okay, now we need to remove the intercooler pipe, or intercooler hose. We can remove these 2 bolts at the back here. There's one there and one there, just to remove this section here, the upper inlet manifold. Okay, so we've taken off the upper inlet manifold. Next step will be to remove the injector rail. But just before we do so, let's have a look in there. That's how bad the build-up can get. We'll have a look at the manifold itself. And that's how clogged up they get. So no catch can, and that's what you get. 270,000 k's. Okay, next step is a difficult part. We need to remove the injector lines and also the injector rail. So we'll start by removing the pipes by undoing these ones here. Okay, so we've got the injector rail off. Just a reminder, when you're getting the injector rail off, you need to be aware of a couple of screws down here, on here, and also here. Just make sure you get those ones. You don't need to trace back the pipe. Just disconnect that pipe there. This one here. Disconnect that, and you should be able to wiggle the fuel rail around to get it out. Okay, we're running to the first bit of difficulty with this job. That being with the removal of this fuel rail here. This fuel rail pipe here. This pipe will also need to be removed. This one runs underneath, as you can see there. It's going to make it very difficult to remove. Also, this pipe here will also need to be removed, which goes down to there, as you can see. Okay guys, we're just about to remove the inlet manifold. As you can see, we've had to remove the brackets that were located here. That pipe is now gone. That went under there. That ran under the inlet manifold. That was a bit of a difficult job. The two screws which hold that pipe in place are there, and also just down there. You'll need to remove two hoses from underneath as well. I can't show you on the camera because they're just tucked in underneath there. We'll see if we can give this manifold a bit of a tap. Doesn't seem to want to go anywhere. We'll try something else. So we've managed to lever it off the we just placed the hammer in there and just gave it a good wiggle. Now we've got to try and manipulate it around these heater hoses here. We'll see how we go. Okay, after great difficulty, we now have the inlet manifold off. What it took is leaving this end here, prying it this way, and you've got to wiggle it past this heater hose here, the one down the bottom. That's the bit that holds it up a bit. But yeah, we eventually got there. We'll now start giving it a clean up. Before we do, I'll just point out these fuel lines that were taken off. There's a smaller hose there, which I'll talk about later, that came off. There's also a main fuel line as well. This one here had to be taken off as well. Okay, we'll get stuck into this cleaning. Okay, once you've removed all these bolts, you should be able to give the cover a small tap. And here's the inlet manifold split in half. You can see just how bad the build-up is around this area here. That's fairly solid. You've got little butterflies in there that need to work as well, and yeah, they're obviously fairly gunked up with stuff. So that's about it, guys. We'll clean it up, put it back together, and see how it goes.